2023 has been an incredible year for bourbon, and if you want to know what my top 20 whiskeys and bourbons are for 2023, stick around. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today we are going to go through my top 20 bourbons and whiskeys of the year. 2023 is stacked. These are some incredible bottles. So I only had two rules. First rule is I had to try it for the first time in 2023. And two, I had to own a bottle of it. So unfortunately, Elijah Craig C923 is not in here. Neither is Maker's Mark Cellar Age, because I tried both of those this year and they're both really, really good. I don't think C923 would have stacked up to these bottles, but Cellar Age might have. But you know, maybe next year we can talk about it. Maybe I'll get one next year, and we can talk about it in 2024, at the end of 2024, going into 2025, which is weird. It sounds like the future. It doesn't even make sense. But let's go ahead and dive into my top 20 bourbons and whiskeys of 2023 with an honorable mention. So my one and only honorable mention on this list is a bottle of Four Roses single barrel proof that I picked up at Total Wine. However, here's the only reason it wasn't included in this list, and honestly I think it probably could have taken one or two out, but it was bottled in 2020. So it's one thing to have tried it for the first time in 2023. It feels weird putting a 3-year-old bottle in a list, like intentionally, knowing that it's from 2020. It just seemed weird. I do love this bottle. I think it's absolutely incredible. It's an OESV, and I really, really like it, and I think it's really good. I just think there's some better bottles, and I think with it being from 2020, it's best not to include it in 2023. But let's start now with number 20, and it is a bottle that I honestly didn't know too much about before I bought it. I knew it was from Michter's. I did some research after I purchased it, but I could just tell something was different about it, and Holly actually knew more about this than I did. It is the Baumburger's Declaration 2023, and there's not a lot of bottles of this, so the entire release was only 2,977 bottles. My bottle is 904, and this is really good. It has like a plum note on it that I really, really like. It's really unique. I really, really dig it. It's made by Michter's, if you don't know, and it's just a really, really solid bottle. So if you can find one of these, I would say grab it for sure. It's about I think it was 89 bucks retail at Total Wine. It's really solid. So if you can find one, definitely get your hands on it. You're not gonna regret it. It's really, really good. Moving on to number 19 is a bottle that I didn't love the first time I tried it. I got a sample sent to me from Mike from Bourbon, and I don't know, his was just different, but I caved in because it's Jack Daniel's, and I wanted one of my own, and it was the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye. This one comes in at 128.6 proof. It's really good, super delicious. The nose is heavenly. I really like it. I'm a big Jack Daniel's fan anyway. I don't know if like that one got like ruined in the heat or something. It was very, very bitter, and this one's like super sweet. So maybe it's just they vary that much from what he sent me, and I'm not appreciative. I just think that this one's better. I don't know why, but it is to me, and it's really good. Don't overpay on these, by the way. These are going to become shelf stable, so don't spend. I see people like saying they got it for like 200 bucks. Don't do that. It'll be 75 bucks, and it's going to be on the shelves. Trust me. Number 18 it's crazy that this bottle made the list because it is a budget bourbon, and it's Bardstown Origin Series. This is the high rye recipe. This stuff is so good. The fact that Bardstown came out with a 96 proof, $45 shelf stable whiskey, and it is in the top 20 of 2023 is nuts. Bardstown, in my opinion, is in a very unique situation. If they keep doing stuff at this price point and this high of quality, they could really corner the market with inexpensive whiskey. It's only a 6-year, so it's not like it needs to be aged super, super long. If you haven't tried this yet, go find it. They're out there. They're amazing. Like some of the best, they're some of my top 20. Some of the best bourbons of the year are the Bardstown Origin Series. It's absolutely fantastic. And if you haven't gotten one yet, do it. It's absolutely incredible. Number 17 is along the same lines of the last one, but it's Barrel's version of it. Barrel Foundation. Now, Barrel did send me this bottle, and the only reason I don't have two of them is because I haven't seen one in person yet. The moment I find another one of these, I'm grabbing it, because It's just amazing. 5-year, 100 proof. First time they've done something like this, and I hope they continue to do it, because I would love to see a foundation rye. Like, barrel, please don't back away from this. This is an incredible bottle of bourbon. It's so good. Another one. I don't even know what the retail is, but I know it's not what the barrel products typically cost. This is like their, I hate the word budget, but this is like their budget bourbon. It don't taste budget. It's great. If you can find this, grab it. You're gonna love it. All right, number 16 is another Bardstown Origin series. It's the Bardstown Origin 6-year wheated bourbon. Everything I said about the other two, the barrel foundation and the white label, applies to this. The fact that a $45 non-allocated shelf-stable Bardstown bourbon is in the top 20 is nuts. Go get it. Number 15 is a bottle that comes from Wild Turkey, believe it or not, and it was something I didn't really know a ton about, but I really like the idea behind it. It's part of the Whiskey Baron series, and it's WB Sapple, batch 1. This is a very unique Wild Turkey distillate. It doesn't taste or smell like Wild Turkey. It smells amazing. There's a nice floral note to it, and I was turned on to this by a buddy of the show, Brandon, and it's expensive. It's like 60 bucks for $3.75, and I think this is what kind of inspired the Buffalo Trace distillery collection. I don't remember what it's called. That, you know, that stupid $1,000 thing that they're doing that I'll never get to see. It's good. You know, if this was a full-size bottle, it'd be 120 bucks. I kind of wish they would just sell it in a full-size bottle, because it's really, really good. And these are not like impossible to find. I would tell you to get one. They're really, really good. I know it's expensive for the amount of whiskey you're getting, but this is a classic case of quality over quantity. And what you get in this is awesome. If you can find one of these, grab it. I think it was like 50, 60 bucks. Do it. It's awesome. Number 14 is a bottle that I struggled with having it this low on the list, because I absolutely love it and it's so good. But I just couldn't justify it knocking off some of the stuff higher up on the list. But it's, you know, I've had a lot of bourbon this year. I've tried probably 150, 200 bourbons, maybe more. And the fact that this is number 14 on my list shows how great Redwood Empire is. This is the Pipe Dream Cask Strength. I love this bottle. I think it's around like 60 bucks normally. For whatever reason, North Carolina, for this specific bottle, is so much more expensive than everywhere else. I bought it, got it home when I was in North Carolina, got it home, saw that another liquor store was selling it for half the price. I was pissed. But I don't care, because it's that good. I remember being like, oh, come on. And then I was like, well, that's actually really good, so who gives a crap? This is a phenomenal bottle of bourbon. Redwood Empire, you knocked it out of the park with the Pipe Dream Cask Strength. It's phenomenal. Number 13 is a bottle that I was so excited to find, because it was the last of the wood finishing series. It's Maker's Mark BEP. I'm very curious to see where this goes next year. This 2023 release to me was phenomenal. I really, really liked it. Some people don't, I get it. But I really, really like it, and I think it's really solid. It's one of the best Maker's Mark products I've ever had. I think the Maker's Mark Cellar Aged is better, marginally. I'm really curious to see what happens now with the wood finishing series going into this next chapter, but if it's anything like this, we're going to be in good hands, because this is phenomenal. The only problem with this is, like, these are still included in like allocated drops, and I don't know if someone would pick this over like a Weller or an E.H. Taylor or something like that is more allocated and hard to find. But if this is what you end up with at one of those drops, you're gonna be happy. It's really, really good. Number 12 is a bottle that I thought was a one and done, just based on the little information I had about it. So I was shocked to see it in the store when I got it. It's Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye Recipe. This is a rye bourbon, high rye bourbon mash bill. These are all custom mash bills that are made for Passover. And like they make kosher whiskey, kosher bourbon. And it's really, really good. There's a really nice cherry note on this. I really like this bottle. The only thing that sucks is that this bottle is hard to find, because if this wasn't hard to find, this would be like a perfect introduction to bourbon. It is so, so good. It still has that like classic Buffalo Trace nose, even though it's a different mash bill, but this is really, really good. If you can find one of these, don't spend a crazy amount, because it's not worth that. But if you can find it for a reasonable price, I would say grab it. It's really, really, really good. So number 11 is a bottle that I am so excited that I own. I was at the distillery the day that these this bottle was being bottled, and I will probably never get rid of this bottle. It has my and my fiance's engagement date on it. So I'll probably not get rid of this. It's probably the only amount of this that will ever be gone from this bottle, just because it's special. We were there at the distillery that day. I saw them bottling this. When I said in the video, I was like, man, it'd be cool to get a bottle of this one day. And I did. I got it, and it's really, really good. If you don't like Blanton's, I would say give Blanton's Gold a try. It's like the perfect balance. It's proofy enough, but not too proofy. It's my favorite of all of them that I've had, and I've had all of the base ones except like those weird special releases that they do in like Japan and stuff. But this is my favorite of the Blantons. If you have not tried it yet, give it a try. All right, we are in the top 10. And if you would have told me at the beginning of 2023 that a store pick Knob Creek single barrel would make my top 10, I would have said you're out of your mind. And yet here we are. This bottle is so good. It's from MDP in Orlando. And I fell in love with this bottle the second I tried it. I wish I'd have got 2 of them. I'm kicking myself to this day that I didn't get 2 of these. It's so, so good. It's not even really worth talking about, because if you didn't get one already, they're gone. But man, if you live in Orlando and you didn't get one of these, you are missing out. This is a phenomenal bottle. Number 9 comes from one of my favorite distilleries of all time, the Jack Daniel's Distillery, and it is the Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. I love this bottle. It's 33 bucks, 100 proof, high quality rye whiskey. It's amazing. I have gone through 2 or 3 bottles of this, and everyone I show this bottle to falls in love with it, whether they like rye or not. Keep in mind, I'm not typically a rye person, and this is one of my favorite bottles of the year. So if you haven't tried this yet, go out and grab it. If you haven't tried this yet, it's cheap and available like Kyle's mom, and you should try it. Number 8 is a bottle that I was so happy to finally own, and I have a backup of this one, and it just mops the floor with last year's release. This is Act 11 of Midwinter's Night Dram. It tastes like sugar cookies, plum. It tastes like Christmas in a bottle. It smells like it too. It's perfect. I tried this for the first time with my brothers on Christmas Eve, and we all loved it. They're not even big whiskey people, and they appreciated it. Like, it's such a good pour. If you can get one of these, don't go crazy. This year they have a ton of these bottles. I think they did like 189,000 bottles of Act 11, so be patient, you'll find one. And when you do, you're gonna be happy you did, because it's absolutely delicious. Number 7 is another single barrel pick from MDP. It is this bottle of Old Forester single barrel. Old Forester single barrels are really, really good, but this is by far the best one I have ever had. Banana, Dr. Pepper notes, it's just so incredible. I've had a few people try this and they didn't love it as much as I did, but it's my list, and I think this is one of the best bottles I had in 2023. I will be devastated when this is gone, because it is just that good to me. I love it so much. 129.3 proof. It's got everything I want in a bourbon. It's perfect. The nose is great. I love it. I'm not gonna keep talking about it because it's a single barrel pick, and if you didn't get one already, they're gone, but this bottle's great. All right, number 6 on this list is a bottle that I waited in line for like 12 hours overnight. And I would do it again. The bottle is that good. It's this year's release of Colonel E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, 131.1 proof. I get like apple pie and chocolate notes, which sounds like a weird combination, but it really, really works. It's a delicious bottle. I know these are super hard to come by. Be patient, that's like my thing. Be patient. I paid $64, I think, for this bottle. This is one of the few bottles though that if you paid like a ton of money for, I'd be like, I get it. It's really, really good. And this year's release is like really, really good. So if you can find this year's release of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, grab it. It's awesome. All right, we are in the top 5 here. This is where it's gonna get really good. The rest of these bottles have been amazing, but these are the best of the best. And we're gonna kick it off with, again, out of one of my favorite distilleries of all time, Jack Daniel's. Jack Daniel's 12 year. The only reason this isn't higher up on my list, as good as this bottle is, it's a little off profile from what I typically like in a Jack Daniel's product. But nonetheless, this bottle still tastes like Jack Daniel's, don't get me wrong, but this bottle is absolutely amazing. I was randomly walking through a liquor store in South Carolina. The guy said it had been sitting on the shelf. They got one bottle of it and it was sitting on the shelf for 2 days and no one grabbed it. I got really lucky. It was 90 bucks. I get why people would want to pay more than that for this because it's really, really good, but man, this bottle's great. And batch 1 is very interesting, and I can't wait for next year to try batch number 2 and try to compare the differences, see what they change, see how it goes. If you can find this, it's a no-brainer. Number 4 is a bottle that I have been singing its praises ever since I first tried it. It's Larceny Barrel Proof Batch A123. The other ones that I've had from Larceny this year, the B523, haven't got my hands on the C923 yet, but the B523 is good, but this one is just a level above it. It's a phenomenal bottle of whiskey. And it retails like 60, 70 bucks. Not super hard to find, at least in South Carolina. If you go anywhere in South Carolina, they're there. But it's an incredible bottle. If you don't know if you like Larceny Barrel Proof, start here, because I think this is the best one out of all of them. Give it a try, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Number 3 is a bottle that I finally have 2 backup bottles of because I love it so much. Everyone knows that I love this bottle, my friend group, all my drinking friends. Jack Daniel's 10-year, Batch 2. Good Lord, this bottle is so good. I cannot wait to get my hands on Batch 3 to compare like I want to do with the 12-year. It's amazing. I love it. To me, it's just more Jack Daniels-y than the 12-year, and that's what I want when I'm drinking something from Jack Daniels, is something that tastes like Jack Daniels. And that's why it's a little higher than the 12-year to me personally. I prefer the 10 to the 12. You can't go wrong with either one, but to me, in my opinion, I love this one. I love Old Number 7 though. I'm a weirdo. I like Jack Daniels a lot, and this is my favorite thing they've ever released. Number 2 is a bottle that I initially tried that I got sent a sample of, and it's Wild Turkey 12-year. I adore this bottle. I was able to get this bottle from my buddy Robert Fernandez. He hooked me up, and I will be forever in your debt, because not only is this one of my favorite bottles of 2023, this is one of my favorite bottles I've ever had in my life. I love this bottle so much. When I ultimately redo my top 10 bourbons at some point, you can rest assured this is going to be on that list, and it is going to be very high on that list. I think it is about as perfect as a bourbon you can get. Spoiler alert, Russell's Reserve 13 is not even in my top 20 of the year. This is way better, and those bottles are about what it costs to get one of these shipped from Japan. This was $200 all in. I would trade my Russell's Reserve 13 for an open bottle of this. I love, because mine's open, I love this bottle so much, and it is so much better than Russell's Reserve 13. It's not even funny. I know it's expensive, but if you can get it here, I would urge you to do so. I'm gonna get another one of these at some point. It's just an incredible bottle. And that leaves us with number 1, and what is my opinion the best bourbon of the year. Another one that I have multiple backup bottles of because I love it so much. I went out of my way to find backups for this. Stag 22B I have had, and I just got my hands on Stag 23C today, but it's not gonna happen before the new year. I'm gonna be able to try it. So I love this one, 130 proof. Whatever this is, this just aligns perfectly with my palate. It's got a tobacco chocolate cherry note and leather on the nose, and it just all carries over, and it's literally, to me, like what a perfect bourbon is. And again, this is like the Wild Turkey 12. This will be in my top 10 bourbons of all time for sure. 22B is phenomenal. I have tried a ton of Stags at this point, and this is still my favorite. I always compare them back to 22B because I think this is just the best. Well, there you have it, my top 20 bourbons of 2023. If 2024 is half as good as 2023 has been to me, I will be very happy. Leave a comment down below and subscribe as well. And when you do leave a comment, let me know what your top 10, 20, hell, give me your top 100 bourbons of 2023. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe out there. Cheers.